Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a special edition of the Meet JMT podcast. My name is Jennifer, and I am your host and digital marketing manager here at JMT. During this multi-part series, we will be diving into a topic that has deeply impacted many of our employee owners, the recent hurricane named Helene that swept through Western North Carolina and the surrounding region. In this episode, we'll be sharing the first-hand accounts of our Asheville, North Carolina employees and how this natural disaster changed their lives, both on a personal and professional level, as well as the incredible strength that has emerged from this challenging experience. Our hope is to not only highlight the difficulties faced, but also the sense of community and support that has blossomed in its wake.
So I am Hardy Willis, and I am the Asheville, North Carolina office leader, and I would like to talk about Hurricane Helene. This has been something that's unusual to our area, Western North Carolina and a mountainous region. You wouldn't think of being hard by a hurricane, but we were absolutely hit hard. I think the best way to describe what happened here was the impact was sudden, it was unexpected, and it was devastating to many. So when I say sudden, we of course saw on the news the expected track of Hurricane Helene, that it was going to come up through North Florida and it was heading our way, and we knew it was heading our way. But just I think it came so quickly up here and had so much wind effects and other storm effects that were still really strong this far north of the coast, that it just had a huge impact. I would say there are two categories of impact in the hardest hit places here in Buncombe County and generally Western North Carolina. There was flooding effects due to, in many cases, dam breaches, and there were mudslides, and there were trees landing on houses. This kind of major category, I guess, as I think of it, caused a lot of loss of life. And there's no greater damage. There's no house damage or personal property loss that compares to losing a loved one. And so I personally did not have anyone in my family or my neighborhood even that was hurt or killed by this. But there were many that lost their lives in this. And then secondarily would be people who lost their homes. You may have seen YouTube videos of the area. And I just know many occasions where people just watched their homes get washed away or couldn't get out of their homes and literally were washed away with their homes. And then a second category would be kind of like lower impact conditions, such as trees down in their yards, trees down blocking driveways, power lines gone down, cell towers down, and this was widespread all over the region. This led to people being stranded, which in many cases could be and was very dangerous. Power outages, lack of clean water. For folks on city water here in Asheville and the surrounding areas, there's still a lack of clean water. There's been a bypass that's been set up where water is in, but it's basically good for flushing toilets and not advisable to drink, not advisable to even boil it and drink it. So there's still, and that looks to be a months long solution. So the next I want to talk about challenges faced. I would say there's challenges of rescue and recovery. I'm good friends with one of the local fire chiefs, and it's been an impact on he's in the Swannanoa area actually, and it's been an impact on his his team recovering cadavers, it's just devastating seeing the loss. But challenges that were faced immediately were people stranded in their homes or their neighborhoods, people without power, people without water, people without cell service. This was in the immediate days after the storm. There was no cell service in many areas. There was no internet. And it was really strange because you couldn't get word to your family that you were okay. You couldn't. My family lives in Florida, and I could not call them to tell them I was okay. It was 2 days later where we found a grocery store parking lot that word got around, hey, you can get cell phone service out in the Ingalls parking lot. So my wife and I drove to Ingalls. You couldn't get gas, or you had to wait in line for 2 hours to get gas. Things in people's freezers and refrigerators going bad unless they had a generator. And then it became a problem getting gas for your generator. Emergency services not being able to get to people because of trees down on roads and roads washed away. And of course, there were certain areas that were hit harder than other areas. And then finally, I want to talk about the strengths that emerged. I first want to respond to that by giving glory to God, Jesus Christ, because when things like this happen, I see how little mankind is, and it's humbling. I'm brought to my knees, and I know many people prayed and is desperate times, and it was desperate prayers that went up. So God's love and mercy was absolutely provided. Second, I must commend the One JMT team. We had immediate expressions of concern from David Harrell, who's our regional vice president, Matt Natal, Mike Blair, several people on a corporate level and from other areas that reached out asking how we were. It wasn't until maybe a week later that I could actually see the email that came to me, but there were many that reached out. We had food, waters, gas cans, personal items delivered to us, prepared by the initial one came from our Middlesboro, Kentucky office. Dempsey Miracle and Corey Napier helped put that together. Some folks from that office brought those in a trailer load of stuff that we put in our office. And then it was the very next day, I believe. This was less than a week after the storm came. We had folks from bring stuff from Knoxville, Jennifer Woolery and others. I know there's many names, and I apologize. I'm leaving some people's names off here. There were many people who are instrumental in doing this. And I also want to say that because these things came from those offices, it was more people that donated either goods or funds to get these goods sent to us. The love and the giving came from many offices, not just these offices that I'm mentioning. I just wanted to say that. And then later, maybe about a week after the storm, Matt Natal brought a shipment from one of the offices in Pennsylvania, and I don't remember right now which office that was, but another shipment of goods. And so we made these things available to our personnel. There's just many other stories I can tell. So we had power pretty quickly here in the office. We had power, but no internet. And so it was within a week after the storm, John Harrison came down and installed a Starlink for us to be able to get internet access. And so then I was able to, not officially, but unofficially, open the office to people who, if they needed to come in and get those supplies or just access internet. I just have to say there were people here in my office, Dwayne Brown and Mark Paris and Karsten Sluter and a handful of others who were here a day after the hurricane. And doing business and reaching out. And we're partners with North Carolina DOT on disaster relief, and we were able to provide local help, to NCDOT projects. Many other people. I had help from Jill Jameson, who helped me locate one of our employees who we were having trouble reaching, could not find out his well-being. And Jill helped me to get some emergency contact information, and we were able to locate him. He was fine. Everybody in my office was accounted for. Varying levels of misery, obviously, from lack of water or lack of power or whatever, but everybody was okay. I was thankful for that. Just again, back to One JMT, I've had people who in our attempts to help North Carolina DOT and disaster relief, I've had people who have actually relocated to Western North Carolina from their homes in either Eastern North Carolina or elsewhere. But in many cases, these are people who are helping with the North Carolina DOT disaster relief, disaster assessment, and leadership and inspectors and survey staff and field staff that are just giving above and beyond a lot of their time. On the design side, I've had folks who have work shared, dropped projects of their own to jump immediately on temporary bridge design. And I'm talking about people in our Raleigh office. I'm talking about people in other states who have been structural or roadway support or hydraulic support to help with the recovery efforts that North Carolina DOT is working on. Those efforts, of course, will go on for months and even years. The triage, as it were, efforts were in getting citizens access out of their homes and out of their neighborhoods. So to just kind of wrap up the thoughts, it's just great to be part of a great giving team. I've seen it from many corners, and I'm thankful. If I want to express anything on that end, it is that I'm thankful to everyone who gave, everyone who reached out, everyone who prayed for us, everyone who's just given so much. And it's great to be part of a great team like this. So the day-to-day now, about a month later, a little more than a month after the storm, is that we now have internet service. We now have power in our office. We have water that's from the city, where we're in the city limits of Asheville here. We have water, but it's not potable water. It is flush toilets water, and that's about it. The water bypasses any water treatment facility and is, I believe, dosed with chlorine or some other cleaning agents, but there's an advisory to not drink the water. We have bottled waters we can send out with the survey crews and with the field personnel that need water. The other part of the day-to-day that we're experiencing now is the emergency response to North Carolina DOT projects and other projects not NCDOT related. Working long hours, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Many people willing and able to put in overtime hours to assist people in need. To the people in Asheville and Sylva and Western North Carolina, I want to give my encouragement to you to keep your chin up. I know that many of you have gone through devastating loss. Many of you still have needs. If there is anything that you need, please reach out to me. We want to help. There are many people in the company that want to help, and don't think that just because we're a month after the fact now that you can't get help. I also want to say thank you, because many of you have left behind projects, things that were needed in your homes and in your yards and your driveways, cleanup efforts to come into work. And I just want to say I appreciate that, because You didn't have to do that. And so I commend you, all of you, for doing a great job, and keep up the good work.
Thank you for tuning in to another Meet JMT podcast, where we explored Hurricane Helene's impact on our JMT employees and their remarkable resilience. We hope this episode is a powerful reminder that while we can prepare for many things, we can never fully anticipate the unexpected. As we reflect on the strength and the unity shown during these challenging times, let us embrace these experiences and continue to support one another. Stay safe, stay connected, and we'll see you next time.